Hi, I'm Sharif, joined alongside my group members Marissa, Jazzy, and Henry, and this is our preliminary report on the ME-2110 final design project. By the end of this video, I hope you can understand how we planned out our designs and evaluated the essential functions and tasks that this project entails. Essentially, all this class's workload is meant to lead up to the final competition on November 11th. So what exactly are these tasks that we have to complete by then? First up is pushing the Black Knight out of our home zone. In this first hypothetical test run, the Black Knight is considered out of the zone. But in the second test run, this Black Knight would be considered in our zone, and if any part of the Black Knight remains in our zone, we get no points. Next up, we have to try to get as much shrubbery into our home zone. For example, at the end of this hypothetical trial run, only 7 shrubs have been collected within our zone. As you can see, there's still 1 outside the zone. After that, we have to shoot the holy hand grenades of Antioch into the beast lair. The goal is to get a grenade in each zone. During the competition, the beast lair will be rotating, so timing the balls to go in will be especially important. After that, we have to egress from the blast zone, as is marked by the red area on screen. The machine must be completely out of the zone for points to be given. And lastly, we have to retrieve the Holy Grail from the center of the beast lair and safely bring it back within our own home zone. Here's how we chose our engineering requirements based on their importance. We felt that replaceable components would be integral, as some parts of the machine were just bound to break, and we didn't want any components to be too integral to the efficacy of the entire machine. Consistent motion was also highly valued because it would make testing efficient and useful, and would also lead to fewer problems on competition day. Minimizing initial conditions were also important because the less things we have to worry about setting up, the less things that can possibly go wrong. And here you can see a quick snapshot of our house of quality to see exactly where these classifications came from. Now there were a few customer requirements that we wanted to make sure we had correct, because not having these tasks work mean an automatic disqualification for the team. These tasks include having the machine fit within a 1x2 by 1.5 foot box, have it not cause any destruction to the platform or objectives, and having it turn on from the start plugs. Most of our specifications are based on the design requirements and tasks given to us alongside those stated limitations. We also included some safety requirements such as minimizing sharp edges and the amount of sporadic motion. Out of all these specificities, the main limitations are the sources of power, as there needs to be precise allocation of power in order to complete every task in tandem, and the space, since there are a large number of tasks that need to be run by one machine. Instead of very generally listing the tasks that need to be completed, here we list specificities on how to accomplish those tasks. For example, for defeating the Black Knight, we specifically list that we'll have to prevent other knights from entering our zone, a detail that isn't specified anywhere else in the report. In our planning phase, we wanted to at least come up with some preliminary design ideas on how to complete each task. The designs aren't all necessarily feasible, as they haven't been put under rigorous scrutiny given our constraints, but they are a good jumping off point for the design phase. So, we'll never get lost when it comes to coming up with somewhere to start from. Seeing as this project is fairly long and requires a good bit of time, this Gantt chart is extremely useful in helping us visualize our time, and it also stops us from falling behind in our work. It also helps us track our progress on the things not explicitly stated within the project guidelines by setting many due dates for things like planning and design. Although we have a timeline of what needs to be done when, knowing what to focus on when is just as, if not more important. As we see in the prioritization matrix, the bulk of the importance is weighed more heavily on the design and building aspects, but this doesn't answer the question about who should do what in the group. And lastly, that takes us to the job prioritization matrix, which neatly divides the tasks done by each person. It's especially useful because it lets us know who should be in communication with whom. Although this particular matrix wasn't used by our group, its structure is extremely helpful in knowing the manner about which we should divide every task that needs to be done. And lastly, I'd like to thank you all for your time. And if there are any questions you'd like to ask, you can go ahead and ask them now.